Sri Sachidananda Sadguru Sainath Maharaj Ki Jai. Ramana Maharshi, his life, chapter 15, later years. Seeing the world, the Gnani sees the self which is the substratum of all that is seen. The Ajnani, whether he sees the world or not, is ignorant of his true being, the self. Poor health. Sri Ramana's health was never particularly good. His head used to shake, and in the later years, he always used a walking stick to get about. He also looked older than he was. When once Kunju Swami mentioned the matter to him, he replied, "What is there so strange in it? If a big elephant is tied down in a small hut, what else happens to that hut except troubles of all sorts? This is the same." As time passed, he became increasingly weak and suffered from severe rheumatism. The devotees did their best to provide relief, mainly in the form of massage with a variety of oils. Dr. Srinivasa Rao once said, "You are always in a reclining posture. It is bound to be painful for the body. A little massage would be a great relief." Ramana answered, "I cannot allow these things. How do you know that I am having some pain?" As the doctor did not give way, the Maharshi replied, "If you think that Ramana is the body stretched out on the couch, you may ask the body. If the body is feeling the pain, then let it answer by itself. If you go on doing this, there would be no end to the attention paid to the body." To satisfy him, Ramana finally let him massage his legs, but said after a few minutes, "Let me also earn some merit through service for the Guru by massaging my legs." Taken from Unforgettable Years, page 151 FF. He then continued to massage his legs himself. He liked to joke in this way whenever devotees wanted to massage him. He would let them do it for a while, but then he would take care over himself. The rheumatism gradually spread to his back and shoulders. In general, a general state of weakness was evident, although he himself took no notice of it. He was in urgent need of more nourishing food, but would not agree to special food being prepared for him. Ramachandra Rao, an Ayurvedic healer and devotee, wanted to prepare a special tonic for him and wrote a long list with all the ingredients and presented it to Ramana. The Maharshi went through it with interest, but then said that he had not the money to buy such expensive things. "If that medicine is good for me, it must necessarily be good for all the others here. Can you give it to them also as well as to me? If people who do physical work don't need a bodybuilding tonic, how do I, who merely sits here and eats? No, that can't be." In 1942, Ramana had a bad fall. A dog was chasing a squirrel and he wanted to hold the dog back and so stretched out his walking stick. As a result, he slipped and broke his collarbone. The Golden Jubilee. On 1st September 1946, a huge festival was organized to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Sri Ramana's arrival at Tiruvannamalai. Space in the old hall was limited, so it was decided to build a large open hall pandal for the occasion on the northern side of the old hall with a roof made of palm leaves. This hall is the previously mentioned Jubilee Hall, which Ramana found very pleasant. The program for the celebration was particularly full and required a great deal of preparation. There were talks by many famous personalities plus recitals by well-known musicians. The devotees and the ashram management had spared no efforts. When the marathon 12-hour program was shown to Ramana, he said, "It is stated that all these big people will deliver lectures. What is there to speak about? That which is mauna, silence. How can mauna be explained in words? In English, in Sanskrit, in Tamil, in Telugu? Oh, what an array of languages! Eminent people will speak in so many languages. All right, why should I bother? It is enough if I am not asked to speak." When the devotee who had presented the program to him suggested that it could be shortened, he answered, smiling, "Have I asked for any of these items so that I could now object to any one of them? Do what you like. It is all a series of lectures. I will sit like this on sofa. You may do whatever you like." Taken from Nagamma Letters, page 81 FF. And so it happened. Sri Ramana remained seated all day long giving darshan and went without his midday sista. In the new hall, during the final years, the old hall became too small to receive the large number of visitors, so the daily darshan was now given in the open Jubilee Hall. In 1949, the construction of a new, bigger and well ventilated hall was completed along with the temple of the mother, and Ramana moved in. But he did not appear to be comfortable in this new hall. He was particularly sorry that his friends, the animals, no longer had free access. How can the squirrels come here? He asked, looking up at the ceiling, which gave no opportunity for the animals to come in. A devotee answered, the Sarvadhikari and other feels that if Bhagavan is here, he will be protected from rain or hot sunshine outside. Ramana continued staring at the ceiling and answered with a quivering voice, if we look for our comfort, is it not at the expense of the sufferings of the others? Squirrels, monkeys, peacocks, cows, and others have no chance of coming here. Does it not mean that we have deprived them all of their privileges? People think that it is a great happiness for Swami if he is here. What is to be done? And in the evening, when it was time to feed the animals, he said to his attendant, they may perhaps think that Swami has given them the slip and had gone elsewhere. Please go, what a pity. Go give them at least some food and come back. And when the attendant returned, he asked concerned, have you fed them all? They will perhaps feel that Swami has deserted them and had gone away to a better place and is sitting there so that he can alone be happy. He alone can be happy. Perhaps they thought that I had forgotten them. Taken from Nagamma Letters, page 422 FF. Above all, poor people hesitated to enter this magnificent hall and instead would peep embarrassed through the window. Ramana, noticing this, said, rich people are accustomed to see huge buildings with lights, fans, collapsible doors, and other imposing furnishings, and so they come inside unhesitatingly. But poor people like me will hesitate to come in, for they feel that it is a place where only rich people live. They are afraid of what people would say if they come in, and so go away quietly like those people who, as you see, are peeping through these windows. Where is the place for them here? See those poor people, what a pity. Taken from Nagamma Letters, page 422 FF. In the new hall, devotees had installed a stone couch with a thick mattress and side cushions for him. This new mattress was slippery. On one side, there was a large cushion for his arm, with another on the back and the third at his feet. Consequently, there was little space left for him to sit on. When Sri Ramana sat on the couch for the first time, he pressed his hand against it and said to his attendants, see how this mattress slips from one side to another. People think that it will be comfortable for Bhagavan if there is a costly mattress. It is, however, not possible to sit on this restfully. Why this? It will be much more comfortable if I sit on the stone seat itself. The following day, the mattress was removed and the old one was laid on his couch. Ramana was, however, not destined to live very long in the new hall. Only 9 months later, in January 1950, he became critically ill and moved to the small Nirvana room where he was to die the following April. Political events. When one considers the momentous political events which occurred during this decade, in particular both in India and throughout the rest of the world, it is surprising what a small part they played in the life of the maharshi and the ashram. For example, in 1939, India entered the Second World War, and on 15th August 1947, Mahatma Gandhi's non-violent resistance movement against British colonial power finally achieved its aim of independence for India. Sri Ramana always read the newspapers, and he and his devotees listened to the news on the radio. Occasionally, politics were discussed in the hall. Professor Subramanya reports the following interesting conversation. It was June 10, 1940. The radio announced the fall of Paris to Germany and the entry of Italy into the war against the Allies. I had just heard a rumor that to counteract the action of Italy, Turkey had declared war on the side of the Allies. I asked Narayana Iyer, who was the latest arrival from the town, whether he had heard any such announcement on the radio. Before Narayana Iyer could reply, Sri Bhagavan himself said, no, it cannot be true. Narayana Iyer confirmed this rare reply of Sri Bhagavan and turning to me observed, France, a first-rate power, had fallen in 3 days. Then do you think our Britain can hold out longer than 3 weeks at the most? Upon this, Sri Bhagavan again observed, but Russia. Abruptly, Sri Bhagavan cut short his speech and resumed silence. Neither of us had the courage to ask Sri Bhagavan what Russia was going to do, though it appeared strange that Sri Bhagavan should mention Russia, who was at that time friendly to Germany. It will be remembered that a war broke out between Germany and Russia only 1 year afterwards, and it was in fact Germany's attack on Russia that turned the tide of fortune in favor of allies. Taken from Subramanya Reminiscences, page 77 FF. When on 30th January 1948 Mahatma Gandhi was assassinated in New Delhi, the whole of India went into mourning. A newspaper reporter came to the ashram to ask the maharshi his opinion about the tragedy. Ramana said with a shaking voice, "For the Mahatma's death in this tragic manner, every person's heart is mourning. What is there in particular that I could say? Who is there who is not grieved? If I say anything, you will publish it, and then one after the other people will come and ask me, what is the good of it?" With these words, he sent the reporter away and went for his walk. At 4:30, the woman sang Raghupati Raghava Rajaram, one of Mahatma Gandhi's favorite songs. With tears in his eyes, Ramana indicated that they should continue with singing. At 5 p.m., a gong was blown and an Aarti celebration, waving of lights, was held in the Mother's temple for the death of Mahatma. After Gandhi's assassination, the whole country was plunged into turmoil. There was arson attacks and murders everywhere. The radio in the hall reported that the situation was very serious. In Tiruvannamalai too, people were worried and the town was placed under police guard. Sri Ramana's grandnephew V. Ganeshan reports, it was 9:30 in the morning. Suddenly, loud cries of "catch them, kill them" were heard. One man crowd was chasing another, and all of them entered the ashram from the hillside. There was panic inside the ashram. A devotee in the old hall rushed to the doors and bolted them. The meditating devotees were naturally disturbed. In the midst of all the tense commotion, Bhagavan was unperturbed, a picture of attention, correcting some proof. Taken from Purushottama Ramana, page 16. Jai Ramana, Jai Sai Master.